The strangest part about being famous is you don't get to give first impressions anymore. Everyone already has an impression of you before you meet them. Despite what people think, I was such a rule follower at school. I loved the whole slacker look, like, hey, I don't care, whatever, but if I didn't turn my homework in, I would panic. I've always had an aversion to looking sexy, but I've grown out of it. It's okay, you know, it's okay to be you. It's okay to just not be okay. It's okay to not be okay. There are things that directors know about me that people shouldn't know, but everyone's really different. I've worked with women who I've never wanted to tell anything about myself to, and I've worked with guys who have been pouring wells of emotion. So emotional availability is not a gender-specific thing. I want a cheeseburger so badly, but I have to be a vampire in a few weeks. It took me a long time to realize that I was a girl as a teenager. At that point I never really believed it. I looked like a boy for a long time. Now, finally, I feel like a woman. I think romance is anything honest. As long as it's honest, it's so disarming. I'm like, bursting. I should be working. I don't want to take a break. It's funny, on set, I don't have to go to the bathroom. I don't have anything wrong. I'm perfectly fine. So through and through. I'm not hungry. I'm literally not even in my own body. I have a great family, by the way, but you need to find people who can pull something out from you that might be otherwise unseen. I don't exercise. I'm skinny fat. I worry about being too skinny. You know, with the film industry crews, there's an odd mix between a very technical and a very artistic approach to the work, and sometimes as a woman you have to be a little bit careful about how things come out because people don't really want to listen if it's in a certain emotional tone or too strong. I did 2 commercials, one for Porsche, but I was definitely not the type of child one would cast in a commercial or any TV that you'd typically go out for as a young kid. I wasn't the type of kid who would be in stuff that kids watch. I wasn't cutesy. I would never cheapen my relationships by talking about them. I'm not ready to get married, but I have a pretty great family and I'd like that too, someday. I've worked with women who I've never wanted to tell anything about myself to, and I've worked with guys who have been pouring wells of emotion. So emotional availability is not a gender-specific thing. I don't want to make movies for kids, and I don't want to make movies for adults either. Girls are scary. Large groups of girls scare the crap out of me. I am quite shy and people think I'm aloof. I want to go to college. I'm going to take 4 years off. I don't want to miss that. I want to be a writer. I think that'd be awesome. Acting is such a personal thing, which is weird because at the same time it's not. It's for the consumption of other people. But in terms of creative outlets and expressing yourself, it's just the most extreme version of that I've ever found. It's like running, it's exertion. Masses of girls identified with Bella in a really profound way, for want of a better word. The connection that I've seen people have, I've seen it physically. It's the characters they're flipping for. I just want the fans of the book to be happy. I don't necessarily care about anyone else. I would have been very happy just working from job to job, paying my rent one movie at a time. I never wanted to be this famous. I never imagined this life for myself. I wouldn't tell you anything about anybody I cared about because it becomes entertainment for other people, and it sort of just cheapens everything in your life. I would never tell you if I was dating anybody. People say, just say who you're dating. Then people will stop being so ravenous about it. It's like, no they won't. They'll ask for specifics. Hopefully my fan base doesn't lock me into, Twilight, you lose yourself. You should do things for you. And I have been really lucky to have things that really rock me and really move me falling into my lap. When I dress up, I have to have a lot of help. I was in a t-shirt until a few minutes ago. Despite what people think, I was such a rule follower at school. It's impossible to always get across what I'm trying to say, but, if I just stay honest, then I'm not going to look back on any of these interviews and wonder what I was trying to do or be. I like making pies. I have a bunch of fruit trees in my backyard. My loquat tree sprouted, and I like making loquat pie. They're really hard to peel and everything, and it took me forever, but they make the best pies. They're amazing. I go outside, and I'm wearing a funky t-shirt and my hair is dirty, and people say, what's wrong with her? She needs to invest in a hairbrush. If the movie is good then great, but if it's not then God, I feel so bad for that person with their face 50 feet tall, all blown up. Some people would be happy with that, that as long as their face was out there they're stoked about it. I'm not like that. You should never step outside of your life and look at it like it's this malleable thing you can shape so that people view it a certain way. You have to be okay with your own fears. If you're an honest person, you'll make mistakes, but that's when the most interesting things happen. I guarantee whenever I get married or have a baby, everyone is going to want to know my kid's name, and I'm not going to say it for ages. That's just the way I want to do it. It'll come out, but it won't have come from me. For most actors, it's such a struggle to get work. Once they have it, they feel that there's an enormous amount of pressure on them to make it work, and have everyone love them. In my case, it was never like that. It was just about working with the people that I want to work with, and telling the stories that I want to tell, you know? I have really bad luck with my thumbs. It plagues me, actually. It drives me crazy. Both of them are very oddly shaped. Usually, at the end of a film it's like I've finally gotten to know this person completely, and then we're done. That actually happened on the set of Twilight, and then it happened again on New Moon. Each time my character Bella became a different person, and I got to know that person and take her to the next level. I never expected that this would be my life. Sure, Twilight is really huge right now and everybody's freaking out over it, but it will go away soon and I will be back to doing what I'm used to doing, weird little movies that nobody sees. There's no way to eloquently put this. I just can't go to the mall. It bothers me that I can't be outside very often, and also to not ever be just some girl again. Just being some chick at some place, that's gone. Anytime I hear that somebody's really rich, the first question is, do you do anything with it? Or do you, like, chill? You just sit on it? I had to act in a school play when I was about 10 years old. I really didn't want to do it, but everyone had to do it, so I didn't have a choice. A talent agent came and watched it and later gave me some work. It's funny because I'd always known that I wanted a movie career. I just didn't think that I would be in the movies. I like being in movies that have a great story. I'm not so interested in being a Hollywood star. It's a job, you know. When you wake up at 6 in the morning every day for a week, it feels like hard work. I'm really proud of Twilight. I think it's a good movie. It was hard to do, and I think it turned out pretty good, but I don't take much credit for it. So when you show up at these places, and there's literally like 1,000 girls and they're all screaming your name, you're like, why? You don't feel like you deserve it. What you don't see are the cameras shoved in my face and the bizarre intrusive questions being asked, or the people falling over themselves, screaming and taunting to get a reaction. I'm asked all the time in interviews about who I am, and I know a few people my age who have a strong sense of self, but I couldn't say I know myself and sum it up and give it to you in a little package. I don't know myself at all yet. A lot of actors think that what we do is so important, like we're saving people's lives or something. Really, I'm incredibly disjointed and not candid. Just in general, my thoughts tend to come out in little spurts that don't necessarily connect. If you hang around long enough, you can find the linear path, but it will take a second. That is why these interviews never go well for me. Visit our website for more quotes, quoting.com.